Okay, this is hour two of my Godot um, game making experience. And I was lying in bed watching Godot tutorials because I realized that if I watch the tutorials while I'm making these videos, you're just watching of videos, and that's kind of inceptioning it a bit too much for my taste. Um, so I'm coming up a little bit higher on the learning curve than real time. So this isn't my second hour of doing Godot stuff. This is 1 hour of flailing, then a couple of hours of tutorials, and then me coming back and seeing if I can apply anything that I learned. But I was watching the tutorial videos, and oftentimes what I do to absorb information is I actually turn off the monitor and shut my eyes and just listen to them talk and kind of let my mind float, and hope that the information kind of enters my brain by way of osmosis. And one of the and I sort of floating, and the tutorial kind of faded away, and I sort of saw a game concept in my head, where it's a platformer, so horizontally scrolling platformer, possibly some vertical, but the thing is, I'm not an artist. I will never claim to be an artist. So, my thing is, I need a game concept that doesn't require me to know too much about, animating actual characters. I couldn't even animate a Mario character. So, anything that I did in terms of art assets would have to be, the generous term for it would be abstract. And then my brain started drifting towards the idea of, well, what if we just have a completely abstract character that is like a tornado that sheds stars, lightning strikes, and whatever, but it's governed by what I call in my head entropy. Now, it's not actually entropy. It's not anything related to the physics version of entropy. But basically what I mean by entropy is energy. The thing is, for this quote-unquote character, the more it moves, the more it consumes. The more entropy it gains, and the more it stands still, or the less it eats, the entropy starts going down. So what motivates you to go through this world is you have to keep moving, and you have to keep eating stuff. And I don't mean eating in terms of opening up mouth and chewing something. What I'm talking about is sort of a destructive force that surrounds you, and maybe like tendrils of electricity that extend a little bit of ways away from the player, and everything this electricity touches, it turns into, well, ash or whatever, some sort of particle effect, and gives you more energy. And so you go through this world, and you have to do it efficiently. Because if you don't, then you'll run out of energy and die. You have to keep moving, so you can't stand there and just keep planning your next move. For example, you can't stand next to, an elevator brick that goes up and down, and all day long. Because the more you stand still, the less energy you have. So you have to go through these maps very quickly. You have to consume things. You have to keep moving. Whatever obstacles there are, you have to kind of get by them really quick. Now, one of the things that I was very much considering doing is using your mouse cursor as sort of a bright dot on the screen, and you click it. Say your player character is here and a platform's here, and you click it, and the longer you hold down the left mouse button, the more energy gets transferred to this little ball of light, and the brighter it becomes and the larger it becomes. Then you release the button, and your player bounces towards this ball. But you've transferred that energy, so you lose whatever energy you put into this little jump ball of light. Gets removed from your energy, so you can't just keep jump. But this game is most definitely about mouse clicks. I guess sort of a Diablo-esque kind of interface where left click is for movement / attack. So if you click on something you want to atomize and get its energy from, you do a left click, and right click will be to be determined, some sort of special ability, maybe something you can build up to if you have a high enough energy or something like that. But I haven't gotten that far in my thought process. But the first thing I said, okay, if I'm talking about whirling chaos and stuff, my first thought is a tornado that kind of spins and swirls and throws out different things like little lightning bolts and stars and whatnot. Cartoonish. So I consumed a very small video on particle effects, and unfortunately the video is about 3D particle effects. So I have absolutely no idea at this point how to do it in 2D. But that video suggested that we download something called a Kenny particle pack, and I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. And I downloaded it and unzipped it and got in a preview. And this isn't going to be a commercial project. It's a toy game. But I'll definitely credit it, in the menu screen or whatever, if I have a menu screen, if I ever get that far. But I was thinking of swirling effects and sort of tornado and stuff like that, and this is perfect. It's got stars. It's got curving elements to it. And the other thing is, another thing I was thinking of is, the sort of shorthand thing that players can use to decide which things will hurt them, reduce their entropy, and which things will help them increase their entropy. Is the things that will help you increase your entropy will always flow upwards, and the things that will decrease your entropy will flow downwards. If we're talking about completely abstract art, we're not talking about little turtles that walk across the screen or whatever. What we're talking about is just using these textures as to completely abstract. Now, I was thinking of doing it side on. So it's like the Tasmanian Devil from the Warner Brothers cartoons. That sort of spinning, whirling dervish kind of tornado thing on the screen that you see side on. But unfortunately, a lot of these are vertically oriented, but that's okay. I was thinking, you know what? Screw that. Let's do a swirling black hole effect. So you got these things that we can hopefully spin and have a bunch of them, and every now and then, one of these stars pops out, and shoots out, maybe a lightning bolt. I mean, this texture set really, I came up with the concept before I ever saw this texture set. But this texture set is so apropos for what I was thinking, with a little modification that I don't see the tornado side on. Instead, I see it as more of a vertically swirling thing like this, like counterclockwise or something. Or maybe if you move left, it swirls counterclockwise, and if you move right, it swirls clockwise, that sort of thing. So, the first thing is generating ground textures. But again, I don't want the ground texture to be something like ground or bricks or grass or anything like that. What I really, really want is the concept of this is sort of a very abstract game, but you have to have something that's recognizably you are walking on top of this, or you're moving on top of this. You're jumping to a place that you'll land and actually land after a jump. So you sort of have to divide these textures into what's good for entities that you have to deal with and what's good for ground. And I'm looking and I'm saying these are good for ground. They look very solid, and there's 3 variations, and hopefully you can randomize them up a bit. And maybe these can be used for alternate ground, platforms, places where you can go through them from the bottom but still land on top of them, that sort of thing. These are special ground. and these would be more the solid ground as you would expect it. And again, I think these 3 textures would also be good for special kinds of ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take let's see. Yeah, I'm going to take PNG transparent. Actually, I'm going to just copy that. And then Godot, Chaos. I'm going to do a new folder. Call it textures. And paste them in. There. Godot, Chaos, textures. So, okay. So importing assets. Great. Took its bloody time with it. Okay. So, we have to have a starting point. And let's see here. There we go. So these are going to form the basis of the player. And I need to sort of mix these together and have them rotating random jitter, and also have them move like a player. So first though, scene. Oh, been seen? Nope. I'm looking for scene properties. Scene? No. What is scene? Show grid. Use snap to grid, configure snap. We're going to do a grid step of 32. I might change this later. Okay. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm trying to figure out the properties of the scene so I can change the viewport. Because I might not want the viewport to be that size. How many scene has ever been defined? Select one. Okay. Scene. New scene. Okay. So let's do node. I don't know, world. Transform, position, scale. World. Ability. Wait a minute. Sure. There, you see? It brings up the screen and it has a defined width and height. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Because right now what I want to do is add a child. Uh, 2D. Kinematic body. Create it. Call it player. And then let's see here. Sync to physics. Don't know. Collision. Clickable. Transform. Position 100 by 100. Okay. Sure, I want it visible. Don't know about material yet. Okay. So, child node. Collision. I guess collision shape sure. Let me take that. Clears in shape. Okay, let's see. Child node. This time we're talking about particles 2D. So, texture. Let's just do a twirl 1. Material to process particles is not assigned, so a material to process particles. Material. Material, res. I have no idea. I have no idea. Heading on, amount, 8. A material to process particles is not assigned, so no behavior is imprinted. I don't know what I'm doing. But I try setting material. So why is it still giving me that warning? Well, there's the swirly thing. Okay. Maybe 0.1. Boy, something's taking it out. So Y is rescaling. I don't know what next pass is. I'm trying to type 0.1 here. And every time I do, it acts as if this is the hardest thing in the world for it to do. Boy, it's just not letting me change that 0.25 to 0.1. Freezing the whole system. Yeah, this is definitely a good thing. So what I need to do is to get it to animate. And this is called poking at it to see what works and what breaks. Oops. Okay, that's just weird. Maybe particles 2D isn't what I need. Maybe I need an animation. Sprite node that can use multiple textures for animation. Yeah. A sprite frames resource must be created or set in the frames property in order for... It's not a node. That's not necessary. Path. Frames. Load. And it's looking for a resource. This is a resource. I was kind of hoping on being able to actually specify So let's see here. Twirl. 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 Loop on. Animation. Animation. Snap seconds. Okay. A lot of long pauses during this video with me not talking, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm trying to figure out what I mean, we got the animation frames 0, 1, 2. So one would think that the animation thing would... No? Wow, that was brilliantly exciting. Very moving. Okay. Oops. Okay. Well, we got something that looks slightly twirly, slightly animated. But what I really want to do is have it rotate through 360 degrees while doing that. So that slows it down. Transform. All that does is that, and I actually want it to rotate as it animates. In other words, I want it to animate the frames, which it's doing, and then I want to rotate by a certain amount. Edit the shader material. no idea. Okay. I gotta start looking down here whenever I click on something. Not exactly certain what you do with this. Sure. I have no idea what I just did. But hey, let's run this and see if anything turns red. Nothing turns red. I'm not certain what this screen's all about. Animation, visual shader. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea. I created a red color, but how do you apply it to the... resource. Material, another resource. I simply I mean, I can sort of see the animated sprite just dealing with switching between frames. I get that. I really do. But this is where I'd really expect you to be able to the shader material makes no sense to me. And this boggles me. I mean, it's completely worthless to an animated sprite. And more importantly, the transform, you can't do like a transform over time, which is what I need to change the rotation degrees, because I would, say over 3 seconds, rotate this from 0 degrees to whatever, 360 degrees. Like this. And that's not what I'm getting. Puzzle, 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 puzzle. Oh, let's take a look at child node. Wouldn't be under control. Animated sprite. Audio stream player, back buffer copy, bone 2D, spew particles. Tried the particles thing, that didn't work out very well. Well, this has been somewhat frustrating. And Not certain what just happened here. This again. Great. You know, it's good enough. So we got collision option. We got an animated sprite that doesn't rotate the way I want it. Let's try. Just need it. It's not what I wanted, but there we go. Okay, so you got the basis of the swirly thing. After an hour of work, this is what we got. So, progress of a sort, but this is what you get when you flail. So I'm going to save the scene. Thank you for watching.